today we will start out in child's pose. And if you're used to always watching me move through motions, because I'm going to try to project my voice, and I'm not always going to be doing the shape with you necessarily today. So just go ahead and find your own child's pose. And in child's pose, can you get your forehead to relax on something that's tangible on the floor, whether you take an extra folded blanket or pillow, or you could stack your hands underneath your forehead. Let your forehead be supported by something tangible. And we'll just take a few moments here to feel the spine, feel the shoulders, feel the neck. Let everything kind of soften and settle in. So as you're breathing here, as you're arriving into your body with some conscious attention, start to bring your awareness to your breath. And can you imagine taking some breath into the backs of your lungs and the back of your neck? Just the whole back body. As you breathe in, can you feel it expand with that new inhale breath? So let's take 3 deep breaths here in your first shape child's pose. Last 2. Last 1. And as you're ready, start to make your way into tabletop. And in your tabletop shape, setting your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, take a few rounds of cat and cow. And so we're continuing to breathe into the back body. Notice how the spine feels. Come back to a neutral position with the spine in your tabletop. Inhale, extend the left leg back and extend the right arm forward. And then lift and float that left leg just as high as it'll go, so your left hip point is still pointing down towards the floor. Really reach through those right fingertips and press down through that left palm so your left arm stays nice and strong here. Deep breath in. And on your breath out, bend your right elbow to your left knee. Just give it a little tap. Inhale, re-extend, right arm and left leg. Exhale, bend the elbow to the knee. Inhale, re-extend. And then exhale, replace the right hand in the left knee. Take a breath in between sides. Breath out. Inhaling, extend the right leg back and the left arm forward. Just lift those right toes as far as your body allows while keeping that right hip point pointing down at the floor. So you might not lift your right leg that high, and that's okay. So press the floor away with your right hand. Stay strong through that right arm. Really reach through those left fingertips and back through that right foot. Take a deep breath in here. On your breath out, bend your left elbow to your right knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhaling, elbow to knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. And just one more time to extend, breathe in. And then replace the left hand and the right knee. Now we'll curl the toes under. Lift the hips up, downward facing dog. And so in your first downward facing dog, take your time to set up your hands. set up your feet. If you need to take a wider stance, that's okay. If you want to play with the rotation of your fingertips, maybe you slightly turn the fingertips out to the sides. Play with plugging into the fingertips. Can you really grip the mat with all 10 of your fingers? And take 3 deep breaths here in your first downward facing dog. Okay, so we'll add on to that opposite leg and hand idea and shift forward into high plank. Pause in your high plank, so find quadriceps are engaging, you're pressing the floor away with your hands. Just float those left toes away from the mat a tiny bit and pop up onto your right fingertips. And then maybe you play with reaching that right arm forward, so you're balancing on your left hand and your right foot. And then replace the right hand, left foot. You can always take a breath here to set the knees down and then re-extend the legs when you're ready for the second side. Right foot just lifts and hovers for a moment. I always start off by just popping up onto my fingertips, so my left fingertips, and then maybe play with lifting the hand away from the mat, and then maybe you play with stretching the left arm forward. Replace the left hand, right foot. Lift the hips up, downward facing dog. And breathe in, down dog. Breathe out. 2 breath cycles in your downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward, find high plank. Exhale, set your knees to the mat, come all the way down to the belly. We'll keep our fingertips, our hands close into the ribs. Stretch the toes back so you're on the tops of your feet. And then squeeze the elbows into the ribs as you inhale, press the floor away, lift the heart. Just a few rounds of low cobra. Exhale, lower the forehead back down to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart away, press through the hands. And exhale, lower. Twice more low cobra, palms press down, tops of the feet press down as the heart lifts. Exhaling, lower. One more time like that, dynamic movement, so you're moving with your breath. And exhaling, release. Curling the toes under, pressing up to hands and knees. Make your way to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, lift the heels up, bend the knees. As you gaze forward, walk to the top of your mat. Once you get to the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift. So you're pressing down through your feet, you're lifting your shoulders at least as high as your hips. Engage the core body here. Maybe you even play with bringing your hands to the heart. So feel your navel hug up into your spine. One more breath in here. And exhale, fold. Let your head relax. Just like you did your first downward facing dog, bend the knees right and left. Maybe you sway the shoulders side to side. You could also grab your opposite elbows for a few moments as you breathe. And so just saying hello to your back body, posterior body. Notice how it feels. We kind of checked that out as we started out in child's pose. So noticing if this feels really different, slightly different, or no different at all. 2 deep breaths here in Uttanasana, your forward fold. So if you have your opposite elbows, release that. Stretch your arms forward, pressing into your feet as you pull yourself all the way up to standing. Reaching through the fingertips. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Just pause for a moment at the top of your mat. Relax the shoulders. Feel your tailbone slightly tucked down and under as you feel your frontal hip points lift up. Growing tall through the crown of the head. Excuse me. All right, let's move on. Inhale, arms out wide. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees enough to bring your fingertips to the floor. Step your right foot back. Reach the arms forward and up. So rising up into Crescent Lunge, right leg is active. Fingertips can interlace behind the head. Press the heart forward. Press down through the ball mound of the right foot as you lift the chest up. Release the arms. Take the hands back down to the mat. Step your way into downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Big breath out. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Second side crescent lunge. Reach the arms forward and up. Really strongly press through the ball mound of the left foot. Your left leg is active and engaged as you're bending your right knee. Once more, you can interlace the hands behind the head if you like, elbows wide. Pressing the chest forward. Maybe you slightly lift the chin, maybe you slightly lift the gaze. Big breath in here. Big breath out. As you inhale, re-extend the arms, bring the fingertips down to the mat. Step your way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Pressing down through the feet, extend the arms forward, come all the way to standing. Exhale your hands to your heart. One more round of Surya Namaskar C, leading with the left. Inhale, arms out and up. Reach up, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you're stepping your left foot back. Reaching the arms forward and up. You're coming right back up into Crescent Lunge. We'll take one full breath here, twisting off to the right. So your right arm's going to sweep down and back as your left arm extends forward. Your torso is turning over the right hip. One breath in here. And on your breath out, arms re-extend, squaring the shoulders forward. Hands back to the mat, downward facing dog. Breathing in, and breathing out. Inhale, left foot, step that forward. Reach the arms forward and up, Crescent Lunge. Stay actively engaged through the ball mound of your right foot. Twisting the torso over the left arm, sweep that back behind you. Stretch your right arm forward. Big breath in here. And release the arms, shoulders forward. Exhale your hands down. Step your right foot forward to meet the left foot, top of your mat. Inhale here, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press down through your feet. Extend the arms forward. Reach up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Okay, so adding on to our Vinyasa. Arms reaching out and up. Exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, bending the knees, step into high plank. So as you pause in high plank, can you hover those left toes, pop up onto the right fingertips, or extend the right arm forward? And then change sides. Floating the right toes up, popping up onto the left fingertips, or extending the left arm forward. Hands and feet down to the mat, high plank. Lean forward on those tippy toes. Bend the elbows. You can also release the knees. Come all the way down to the belly. Inhale for another round of low cobra, or you can press the arms straight, rising up into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. On your exhale, your choice. You can transition back towards child's pose. You can rise on up to downward facing dog. We'll find stillness here for 3 breath cycles. Any optional exhalation that you like, if you want to let go of some tension through the jaw or the face, open the mouth, exhale the air out. Also the option to stick out the tongue. Also the option to flutter the lips with horse breath. And if you're in child's pose, make your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your right leg up and back. On your exhale, move that right foot forward between the hands. Set your left knee down to the mat. Walking both of your hands off to the upper left-hand corner, maybe even beyond the mat. And just lean a little bit of weight into those hands. So it's kind of like you have downward facing dog arms and a low lunge legs. You're kind of putting 2 shapes together. Take one big breath in here. Big breath out. Start to walk the hands back so you're framing out that right foot. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee. Reach the arms forward and up, crescent lunge. So we'll move this crescent lunge in and out of that twist. On your inhale, you're going to extend the arms up. On your exhale, you're turning your torso towards your right as the right arm reaches back and the left arm reaches forward. Okay, and then re-extend the arms up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Exhale, you're twisting off to the right. One more time like that. Inhale, arms extend up towards the ceiling. Exhale, twisting off to the right. Coming back through center, just bring your hands to your hips, to your waist. Drag that left foot forward to meet the right foot. And we're going to transition our weight into our left foot. Bending the right knee, right foot, just kind of reaching behind you a little bit. So we'll set up for dancer's pose, Natarajasana, and I'm going to give you a few different options for binding the hand to the foot. So I'll turn so you can see me. Right hand to the outer right ankle. Here's your option number 1. This is usually most accessible for most shoulders. Okay, and if you're taking this option, you can kick the foot into the hands and just start to lean the heart forward. If you want a little bit more opening across the front of the chest, walking your hand around your foot so that now you have your right hand on the inner border of the right ankle. Same thing, you can start to kick your foot into your hands. Option number 3. This is all just to distract you from the fact that you're balancing on your left foot. So option number 3, right hand to the outer right ankle, left hand's going to reach back and grab the inner border of the right ankle. It's kind of like when we interlace our hands behind our low back, except you have your hands around your ankle. Okay, so either way, you're kicking your foot into your hands, however you're binding, leaning the heart forward. Wherever you are, take one more big breath. And on your exhale, slowly release out of that. Just let your right foot meet your left foot. And you're standing at the top of your mat. Once more. Deep breath in, arms out wide, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way in, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bending the knees so you can plant the palms, step into high plank. Pause in your high plank. We'll float and hover right toes, popping up onto the left fingertips or reaching the left arm forward. Set the hands and the feet back to high plank, and then changing sides as you're ready. You could always come down to the knees to do this. Normalize that high plank, pause, breathe in. You're shifting forward onto the toes, moving through chaturanga, or release the knees to the mat. Your inhale, find your back bend of choice. Maybe it's low cobra, maybe it's sphinx, maybe it's upward facing dog. Exhaling your way back to either child's pose or downward facing dog. And take some time there to pause and breathe. 3 full breath cycles. Play with your exhalation. Okay, those options always apply of just that ujjayi breath through the nose, back of the throat, the open mouth, the tongue out, the lion's breath. Notice what feels best, what feels intuitive. If you're in child's pose, meet me in downward facing dog. On an inhalation, sweep your left leg up and back. On your exhale, sweep that left foot between the hands. Set your right knee to the mat, walking both of your hands off to the upper outer right hand corner. Pressing into your hands. Keep those feet, those legs in that low lunge as the arms make that more of a downward facing dog like motion. Start to walk your hands back to the mat, framing out your left foot, curling your right toes under, lift the right knee. Sweep the arms forward and up, crescent lunge. Okay, so same thing, dynamic crescent lunge with our twist. Our inhale, we're going to reach our fingertips up towards the ceiling. And our exhale, we're twisting off to the left. Torso's moving to the left as the arms reach wide. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the left. One more time. Inhale, arms up through center. Exhale to the left. And as you come back through center now, hands to the hips. Drag that right foot forward to meet the left foot. And then change your weight into your right foot. Okay, so second side of Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Those 3 options. Again, if you know what you're doing, go for it. But option number 1, left hand to outer left ankle. Or you can walk the hand around the foot to the inner left ankle. Notice how that changes the sensation in the shoulder. Or option number 3, left hand stays at the outer left ankle, right hand reaches back to the inner left ankle. Okay, so just kick a little bit into the hand or hands. You don't have to pitch your body all the way forward, but maybe just play with the balance a little bit by leaning the chest forward. Any amount is fine. Notice where your gaze is moving. Usually the body follows the eyes. So if you can keep your gaze stable on something and not moving, the body tends to stabilize. Take one more breath wherever you are. And slowly start to release on your exhale. Set your left foot down to meet your right foot, standing at the top of your mat. Big breath in, arms reach out and up. We'll just kind of clean the slate, neutralize the body with one more vinyasa flow to the floor. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. Bending the knees, planting the palms, stepping into high plank. Shift forward on the toes. Maybe chaturanga. Maybe skip it and move right into child's pose. Child's pose is where we're going to actually meet. So if you want one more pass through down dog, feel free to take it. Otherwise, hips back to the heels. Forehead, let that rest. If you need a prop underneath the forehead, take it. Take 2 deep breaths in your child's pose. Feel that shift of energy as you move your awareness to stillness, softening the breath, softening the muscles. And when you're ready to release out of your child's pose, just bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's cross the ankles and move the hips back over the heels so we can arrive onto our backs, knees bent and feet planted. We'll take 3 rounds of bridge pose, and I'll offer you this dynamic movement. So pressing down into the feet, about hip width distance apart. As the hips lift, you're breathing in, and the arms reach up towards the ceiling and then sweep overhead. So dynamic bridge. Your exhale, everything comes back to the mat, arms and hips. So try that twice more. Inhale, press down through the feet, lift the hips, stretch the arms overhead. Exhale, lower. Now this round, as you breathe in and up, stay a little bit, stay a beat. 1 full breath cycle, arms overhead. And see if you can take twice as long to release on your exhale, so you're going super slow on your exhale. Eventually the hips meet the mat, arms relax. Hugging the knees into the chest. Moving towards happy baby. Pulling the knees wide, you can reach up for the soles of the feet or the backs of the legs. Wherever you can grab on to the legs while keeping the head and the shoulders relaxed and heavy. Maybe you sway a little bit side to side, maybe you stay still. If there's any last movement or shapes you wish to take before your final Shavasana, feel free. If there's any particular Shavasana setup, like adding extra props, a blanket or pillow underneath the knees or underneath the back of the head, or an extra blanket over the body, take your time to support your body. You could also take your legs up the wall or even come to a comfortable upright seat for a meditation. We'll take about a minute here in silence and stillness to just let everything integrate, everything that we practiced today. Start to let that go, let it rest. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, slightly tilting the chin towards the chest, letting the eyes closed and sink heavy into their sockets. Deep breath in. Open mouth exhalation. So as always, if you have more time to spare in your day, please take a longer Shavasana or meditation. If you need to come out, start to bring the awareness back to the body, back to the breath. Awakening the fingertips and the toes. Moving the head side to side. Breathing in, sweep the arms up and overhead. You're on your back, on your exhale, rolling off to a side. Take your time to rise up to a comfortable seat. We'll just take a moment here to rest the hands on the thighs, acknowledging how you feel in this moment right now. If anything has shifted and changed, if so, what and where? Joining the hands together with the heart, bowing the chin into the chest, in reverence to our practice and our efforts, and to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, everyone.